Welcome to the natural wonders of the world, where the pulse of the planet beats in rhythmic defiance of the digital age. We begin our journey on a narrow bridge of land that connects two continents, a sanctuary where the emerald canopy of the rainforest meets the deep sapphire of two vast oceans. Costa Rica is not merely a destination, it is a testament to what happens when humanity decides to step back and let the earth breathe. Within its borders, you will find a symphony of life that defies the imagination, from the smoke of ancient volcanoes to the silent crawl of sea turtles under a moonlit sky. This is a place where the air carries the scent of damp earth and blooming orchids, and where the concept of time seems to dissolve into the mist of the highlands. We are here to explore the deep layers of this tropical paradise, uncovering the secrets of its survival and the wisdom of its people. As we navigate through these wild landscapes, I invite you to ask yourself a single haunting question. If you were stripped of every modern luxury and left alone in the heart of the wild, would you find yourself, or would you be lost to the shadows? It is time to look beyond the surface of the postcard and see the raw power of the living world. Before we dive into the depths of the jungle, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and join our community of explorers. Your journey into the heart of Pura Vida begins now, and I promise you will never look at the horizon the same way again. The story of Costa Rica is a masterclass in strategic evolution and the pursuit of a higher collective purpose. Long before it became a beacon of ecotourism, this land was a rugged frontier shaped by colonial ambition and the grueling labor of the coffee trade. In the year 1821, the nation gained its independence from Spain, not through a bloody revolution, but as a quiet byproduct of the changing tides in Central America. For decades, the economy was built on the backs of small farmers who cultivated the rich volcanic soil to produce some of the finest coffee beans in the world. This golden bean provided the capital necessary to build the national theater and establish a foundation of European-style sophistication in the heart of the tropics. However, the true turning point in the national identity occurred in the year 1948. Following a brief but intense civil war, the visionary leader José Figueres Ferrer made a decision that would shock the global community. He abolished the national military, choosing instead to dismantle the machinery of war and reinvest those resources into the minds and bodies of the citizenry. By reallocating the defense budget toward education and healthcare, Costa Rica crafted a society that prioritized human capital over martial strength. This was a Machiavellian stroke of genius, creating a stable and peaceful democracy in a region often defined by volatility and conflict. The abolition of the army allowed the nation to focus on a new kind of sovereignty, one based on environmental stewardship and social well-being. Today, the economy has shifted from a reliance on agriculture to a sophisticated mix of medical device manufacturing, technology services, and high-end tourism. The country generates nearly 100% of its electricity from renewable sources, harnessing the power of water, wind, and geothermal heat. This commitment to sustainability is not a mere marketing tactic, but a fundamental pillar of the national soul. It is the reason why a nation that covers only 0.03% of the Earth's surface manages to protect over 5% of the world's total biodiversity. To understand Costa Rica is to understand that true power lies in the preservation of life, rather than the capacity to destroy it. This philosophy is summarized in the ubiquitous phrase, Pura Vida, which translates literally to pure life. For the locals, known as Ticos, these two words represent an entire cosmic outlook that rejects the frantic pace of Western materialism. Pura Vida is a greeting, a farewell, and a reminder to find joy in the ephemeral beauty of the present moment. This mindset is most visible in the Nicoya Peninsula, which has been identified as one of the few blue zones on the planet. Here, the inhabitants frequently live past the age of 100, maintaining a level of physical and mental vitality that baffles modern scientists. Their longevity is attributed to a combination of mineral-rich water, a diet centered on squash and corn, and a deep sense of community belonging. In Nicoya, the elders are not cast aside, but are revered as the keepers of wisdom and the heartbeat of the family. The slow rhythm of life in the blue zone serves as a silent critique of our modern obsession with productivity and speed. Rising from the northern plains like a dark monument to the Earth's internal fire, the Arenal Volcano stands as a symbol of raw geological power. For many years, it was considered dormant, until a massive eruption in the year 1968 reminded the world of its hidden fury. Today, the perfectly symmetrical cone is shrouded in greenery, though the scars of past lava flows are still visible beneath the canopy. The surrounding region of La Fortuna has become a sanctuary for those who wish to touch the edge of the sublime. Geothermal activity beneath the surface heats the rivers, creating natural hot springs where travelers can soak in mineral-rich waters. These pools are framed by tropical gardens, where the steam rises to meet the cool evening air of the rainforest. It is a place of profound contrast, where the destructive potential of the volcano gives birth to fertile soil and life-sustaining heat. The landscape around Arenal is a playground for the adventurous spirit, offering a synthesis of adrenaline and natural beauty. Hiking trails lead visitors across ancient lava fields, where the jagged black rocks tell the story of the Earth's violent past. Nearby, the expansive Arenal Lake provides a mirror-like surface for windsurfing and kayaking, reflecting the towering peak above. For those who seek a perspective from the sky, ziplines stretch across the ravines, offering a fleeting glimpse of the forest floor from hundreds of feet in the air. Horseback riding through the foothills allows for a slower connection to the land, guided by the steady pulse of the animal beneath you. In this region, you are forced to acknowledge the fragility of human existence in the shadow of a mountain that could wake at any moment. This tension between beauty and danger is what gives the Arenal region its magnetic and haunting energy. As you ascend into the Tilaran Mountains, the air grows thin and cool, and the bright sunlight is replaced by a perpetual silver mist. This is Monteverde, a place where the forest does not live on the ground, but in the clouds that cling to the peaks. The Monteverde Cloud Forest is one of the rarest ecosystems on the planet, thriving in a state of constant moisture and ethereal light. Here, every inch of space is occupied by life, from the mosses that coat the trunks to the orchids that hang from the branches. This is the realm of the resplendent quetzal, a bird with emerald feathers and a crimson chest that was once worshipped by ancient civilizations. To see a quetzal in flight is to witness a living myth, a flash of color moving through the gray shadows of the canopy. The silence of the cloud forest is broken only by the drip of water and the haunting call of the three-wattled bellbird. Exploring Monteverde is an exercise in vertical discovery, as much of the biodiversity exists high above the forest floor. Suspended bridges allow you to walk through the treetops, placing you eye to eye with the secret world of the canopy. Below, the shadows are deep and mysterious, hiding pumas, tapirs, and thousands of species of insects. When the sun sets, the forest undergoes a dramatic transformation as the nocturnal hunters emerge from their hiding places. Guided night walks reveal the glint of spider eyes and the slow movement of sloths navigating the branches. There is a heavy, ancient stillness in the air at night, a reminder that the forest has its own sovereign intelligence. In Monteverde, the boundary between the physical world and the spirit world feels thin and permeable. On the central Pacific coast, the jungle makes a dramatic descent to meet the crashing waves of the ocean at Manuel Antonio National Park. This is one of the smallest parks in the country, yet it possesses a density of wildlife that is almost overwhelming. White-faced capuchin monkeys leap through the trees with mischievous intent, while howler monkeys announce their presence with guttural roars that echo for miles. Along the trails, three-toed sloths blend perfectly into the foliage, moving with a deliberate slowness that suggests they know something we do not. The park is a masterpiece of conservation, where strict regulations limit the number of daily visitors to protect the delicate balance of the environment. Here, the wild is not a distant concept, but a living presence that brushes against your shoulder as you walk. It is a rare place where you can emerge from a dense jungle path and step directly onto a beach of pristine white sand. The beaches of Manuel Antonio are framed by dramatic rocky headlands and turquoise waters that invite a sense of total surrender. As you swim in the warm Pacific, you can look back at the emerald wall of the forest and see the steam rising from the trees. This intersection of land and sea creates a unique habitat for marine life, where coral reefs provide a sanctuary for colorful fish and sea turtles. The park serves as a reminder that the preservation of nature is a continuous act of will and responsibility. Visitors are encouraged to leave no trace, honoring the sanctity of a place where the monkeys and iguanas are the true owners of the land. In the quiet moments between the tides, Manuel Antonio offers a glimpse of what the world looked like before the arrival of modern industry. It is a sanctuary for the weary soul, providing a space to breathe in sync with the rhythm of the waves. Moving north toward the border of Nicaragua, the Guanacaste coast offers a different interpretation of the tropical dream. This is the land of the Sabanero, the Costa Rican cowboy, where vast ranchlands meet a coastline of golden sand and dry tropical forests. The climate here is sun-drenched and arid for much of the year, creating a landscape that feels more rugged and expansive. Playa Conchal is a geological wonder, where the shoreline is composed of millions of tiny, crushed white shells instead of sand. The water here is exceptionally clear, glowing with a brilliant turquoise hue that rivals the Caribbean. It is a place for contemplation, where the sound of the shells crunching underfoot provides a rhythmic soundtrack to the setting sun. Guanacaste is a region defined by the elements of light and wind, offering a sense of freedom that is hard to find elsewhere. The town of Tamarindo serves as the vibrant heart of the Guanacaste surf culture, where the energy of the ocean dictates the pace of the day. Surfers from around the world gather here to ride the consistent breaks, their silhouettes carved against the orange glow of the Pacific horizon. Beyond the waves, the region offers endless opportunities for exploration, from sailing on catamarans to paddleboarding through quiet estuaries. The nightlife in Tamarindo is a celebratory fusion of local tradition and international influence, where the music of the marimba meets modern beats. Yet, even in the midst of the festivities, the presence of the wild is never far away. Nearby nesting sites attract olive ridley sea turtles, who return to these shores in a prehistoric ritual of survival. The Guanacaste coast is a place of transition, where the dry earth meets the infinite sea, and where every sunset feels like a private revelation. Deep in the heart of the Central Valley, the Earth's geological power is displayed in the form of massive volcanic craters. Arenal Volcano is the highest active volcano in the country, reaching an elevation of over 11,000 feet above sea level. Standing at the rim of the main crater, you are greeted by a lunar landscape of gray ash and a toxic lime-green lake at the bottom. On a clear day, the altitude is so great that you can see both the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea from the summit. The air is thin and biting, a sharp contrast to the humid heat of the lowlands below. Not far away, the Pura Volcano offers another dramatic spectacle, with one of the largest active craters in the world. The constant bubbling of its sulfuric lake and the plumes of steam remind you that the ground beneath your feet is a living, breathing entity. These highland volcanoes are the silent architects of Costa Rica's prosperity, having provided the rich soil that sustains the nation's agriculture. The slopes of the Central Valley are carpeted in coffee plantations and dairy farms, where the cool climate creates ideal conditions for growth. The people of this region live in the shadow of these giants, maintaining a deep respect for the forces of nature that can both provide and destroy. The volcanic peaks are often shrouded in clouds, creating a sense of mystery and isolation from the world below. To visit the craters is to stand on the edge of the abyss and acknowledge the insignificance of human history in the face of deep time. It is a humbling experience that strips away the ego and replaces it with a profound sense of awe. The Central Valley is the emotional and physical anchor of the country, a place where the ancient past and the modern present coexist in a fragile equilibrium. On the remote Caribbean side of the country lies Tortuguero, a place that can only be reached by boat or small aircraft. There are no roads here, only a network of dark, jungle-lined canals that wind through a labyrinth of prehistoric swamps. This is the land of turtles, a vital nesting ground for the green sea turtle, the hawksbill, and the massive leatherback. The village of Tortuguero is a thin strip of land between the river and the sea, where the culture is a vibrant mix of Afro-Caribbean and indigenous influences. The rhythm of life here is governed by the water, with longboats serving as the primary mode of transportation. In the silence of the canals, you can hear the splash of caimans and the rustle of spider monkeys in the overhanging branches. Tortuguero feels like a world that time forgot, a wilderness that remains defiant in its isolation. The most profound experience in Tortuguero occurs under the cover of darkness during the nesting season. Guided by the moonlight, visitors watch in silence as giant sea turtles haul their heavy bodies out of the surf and onto the sand. There is a primal gravity to this scene, a ritual that has remained unchanged for millions of years. Each turtle carefully digs a nest, deposits her eggs, and returns to the ocean, leaving her offspring to the mercy of fate. This cycle of birth and survival is the heartbeat of Tortuguero, a reminder of the incredible resilience of life. The conservation efforts here have transformed a former hunting ground into a world-renowned sanctuary. It is a place that demands patience and reverence, rewarding those who are willing to listen to the whispers of the jungle. The hidden corners of Costa Rica reveal a tapestry of islands, reefs, and waterfalls that are often overlooked by the casual traveler. Isla Tortuga, located in the Gulf of Nicoya, is a tropical fantasy of swaying palms and crystalline waters. The surrounding volcanic reefs are teeming with marine life, offering some of the best snorkeling and diving in the country. Further south, the Cahuita National Park protects one of the most significant coral reefs in the Caribbean. Here, the community plays a central role in the management of the park, creating a model for sustainable tourism that benefits both people and nature. Inland, the Catarata del Toro plunges nearly 300 feet into an extinct volcanic crater, surrounded by a private forest reserve. The sheer power of the falling water creates a misty microclimate where rare plants and birds flourish in the shadows. These hidden gems are the soul of the country, providing a sense of discovery for those who venture off the beaten path. Whether it is a secret waterfall hidden in the mountains or a remote reef teeming with life, these places offer a sanctuary from the crowds. They remind us that the earth still holds secrets and that there are still places where the silence is absolute. The agricultural heartlands of the interior offer a different kind of beauty, with rolling hills of sugarcane and traditional cattle ranches. Here, the culture of the Guanacaste cowboys remains vibrant, celebrated through festivals, horse parades, and traditional music. The rural landscapes of Costa Rica are a testament to the enduring strength of the national character, rooted in a love for the land and a respect for tradition. In these quiet spaces, the spirit of Pura Vida is not a slogan, but a lived reality that shapes every interaction. The journey through Costa Rica eventually leads back to the capital, San José, a city that serves as the cultural and historical heartbeat of the nation. While the wilderness is the country's greatest draw, the city offers a necessary context for understanding the Tico identity. San José is a place of architectural contrasts, where grand neoclassical buildings like the National Theatre sit alongside modern concrete structures. The museums of the capital house the world's largest collection of pre-Columbian jade and gold, telling the story of the indigenous peoples who lived here long before the arrival of the Spanish. The central markets are a sensory explosion of tropical fruits, artisanal crafts, and the aroma of freshly roasted coffee. It is a city of parks and plazas, where people gather to discuss politics, art, and the daily events of life. San José is the gateway through which all adventures pass, a place that bridges the gap between the wild interior and the global world. The history of San José is tied to the rise of the coffee elite in the 19th century, who sought to transform a small village into a cosmopolitan center. This ambition led to the creation of the National Theatre in the year 1897, funded by a voluntary tax on coffee exports. Today, the theatre remains a source of immense national pride, hosting world-class performances in an atmosphere of velvet and gold leaf. The city's neighborhoods, such as Barrio Amon, preserve the elegant mansions of the former coffee barons, now repurposed into galleries and boutique hotels. Despite the urban bustle, the mountains are always visible on the horizon, a constant reminder of the wilderness that lies just beyond the city limits. San José is a city that looks toward the future while remaining deeply anchored in its past. It is the brain of the country, coordinating the protection of the emerald heart that beats in the rainforests. As we conclude this journey through the landscapes of Costa Rica, we are left with more than just memories of beautiful views. We are left with a fundamental lesson about the nature of existence and our place within the grand design of the world. Costa Rica teaches us that peace is not merely the absence of war, but the presence of a conscious commitment to life. It shows us that true wealth is not found in the accumulation of things, but in the health of our forests, the purity of our water, and the strength of our communities. The Pura Vida philosophy is an invitation to strip away the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters. It is a reminder to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to acknowledge the divinity in the natural world. If we can learn to live in harmony with the earth as the Ticos do, perhaps we can find a way to heal the fractures in our own lives. The question remains, which corner of this paradise called to your soul the most? Was it the fiery breath of the volcanoes, the misty silence of the cloud forest, or the ancient rhythm of the sea turtles on a lonely beach. Whatever it was, let that feeling serve as a compass for your own life, guiding you toward a more intentional and joyful way of being. I wish you good health, a clear mind, and the courage to seek out the wild places both in the world and within yourself. Thank you for traveling with us through the heart of Costa Rica and for allowing these stories to find a home in your thoughts. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us on our next exploration of the world's greatest wonders. May your path be filled with beauty, and may you always find the strength to choose the Pura Vida in every moment. Until we meet again on the next horizon, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the earth. This is the end of our story today, but the journey of the spirit never truly concludes. Take the wisdom of the jungle with you and let it remind you that life, in its purest form, is the greatest adventure of all.